Okay, you're live.
I don't know. We're live?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Boozeketeers. Tuesday night. And of course, as usual, fraught with all kinds of weirdness. There's a conundrum. I don't know if it's a conundrum, a mystery? I don't know what it is. It's one of those things where how is the question? How is the why? And why no one knows. Here's the thing. So, we did the last show here, right? Because wasn't I playing ukulele last show? Wasn't that here? Wasn't that like right here with this thing? So here's the part that's confusing: is that did I say last year? Man, I've had too many whiskey sours. Last week at some point, the last time that I was here in the bar, I was using the ye old microphonio, and the weird part is, we're not sure how we plugged it in because my phone doesn't have a microphone jack. But I know that I did. I don't get it. I can't figure it out. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe we didn't. Maybe it was just... No, we did, because I remember, anyway. It's weird, Boozeketeers. There's weird stuff afoot. Weird things. And I can't explain them. Maybe you can. I don't know. But it just goes to show you never know. And when you think you do, you still don't. But I guess the important thing is, it's Tuesday night, it's 9-something, and we're all here, and doing our thing together. And there's a I don't get it because we used the microphone. I'm sorry, it's very confusing to me. It's weird. It's mysterious. It's greatly mysterious. Because I know that I plugged the microphone in, but I couldn't have. That's the weird part. Couldn't have done it. It couldn't have happened, but it did somehow.
Sorry.
Excuse me, I must be hungry. And here's the weird thing, right? Is that I know the microphone's plugged in because we don't have a name for this guy yet. What's this guy's name? He needs a name. This guy over here.
He's not really in the
This
picture.
guy over here, while I was doing the show, decided to move around the place, and it was kind of weird. And then when I was watching the show, it was weird because I was doing fast motion, and he was moving, and which you couldn't see except in fast motion. He was like, and it freaked me out. And I thought, oh, it must have been the microphone cable, right? I thought it must have been the microphone cable that was touching him, but it couldn't have been. You know why? Because we couldn't have plugged in the microphone cable. So I don't get it. I don't know what that's all about. It's mysterious. But you know what? That goes along with the strange mythical world that Cocktales, Tiki King, and us Boozeketeers reside in. We reside in some kind of strange, ethereal, 16 frames a minute, 16 frames a second, 16 frames a minute. That'd be awful. Be like, clear. That'd be not good. That's the cartoon world we live in, baby. That's right, you're here with me. And I'm here with you, and we're all here doing it together. All at once. So, what are we doing tonight? Well, like I said, I'm currently drinking my whiskey sour, which I'm enjoying pleasantly. But that's not tonight's drink. That is not it. Tonight's drink has nothing to do with tonight's theme, which apparently is weird things going wrong for no particular reason that we can't explain because they were all right last time. Which is going to be hard to write in the description because it's kind of long and the keywords would not make sense to anyone. But we can. See, now I don't know how to transgress the unwritten law. I don't know how to go from where I'm at now to where I need to be. I've dissolved the bridges. They all left. It was a strange set of occurrences that left me floundering. If there was a flounder drink, I could make that. I could make a drink. I could make a whole sea life. I could make a theme of drinks that lay on the bottom of the ocean with both eyes staring up blankly, with X's instead of actual eyes. There'd be 2 X's, except unless they were mutants, and then there'd be 3, which would work because if there were 3 X's, then that would be like booze, right? because in cartoons, right, you have the bottle of booze has 3 X's. So if you had a comical cartoon flounder representing the show, it would have 3 eyes that were X's. So that brings us back around. So tonight's theme is no theme at all. Tonight's theme is an idea. It's a thing. It's a discussion point. It's something we can talk about. Well, that I can ramble on about, and you guys can talk amongst yourselves as if I wasn't here. So that's what you do anyway. You hoodlums. No. So tonight, I was doing my extensive research, and producer Maggie said, "So, what is the fruits of your extensive research?" And I said, I don't know. I got nothing." And she said, "Yeah, but what about all those cartoons you're always watching all the time? Obsessively drinking and watching cartoons and drinking, and then sobbing in the shower whilst watching cartoons and drinking." And she said, isn't it weird how many cartoons, like in the old days, well, it wasn't really the old days. When did the olden days start? Was that that was probably before my time. My time is like a while back when I was a kid. And there were cartoons, right? And the cartoons, there was a surprising amount of debauchery in the cartoons, right? People getting drunk, smoking cigarettes, eating steak. Well, that's not really a debauchery thing. That's an Argentinian thing, which is different. And hola to my Argentinian bartender friends, by the way. But yes, but maybe. In the old days, cartoon characters did a lot of drinking. And I started thinking about it. And I thought, that's true. There's a weird, if you think about it, and producer Maggie pointed this out, what's the deal with storks? Storks were always drunk. And I thought, the Boozeketeers, one of the logos, right, for the Boozeketeers gear, there's a stork delivering a drunk baby me, and the stork, I believe the stork is drunk too. And that's, if you think about it, cartoon storks, what was their deal? They were always drinking. They knew something we didn't, or knew something we did. Maybe they knew exactly what we know. Hard to say. Exactly what we know. It's not actually that hard to say. Is there? Comes producer Maggie.
No,
she's mouthing.
Just keep doing your thing.
Failure evident.
No, keep doing your stuff. He's not.
Keep doing my stuff. Keep doing your stuff. She just came down to hug. It's like he's about to fall out of his chair like me on a Saturday night. We were looking at so there's a strange thing that happens involving perception, and there's different kinds of perception, right? There's the perception that you know what you're doing, which is false, and then there's depth perception, right? Which is one of the there's an X and Y axis, and the X axis would be the depth, and the Y axis would be why I'm doing this show. No one knows. That's trigonometry that they won't teach you because there is no answer. Why? Solve for why. That's right. Tiki King does a show every Tuesday night. Solve for why. Nope, impossible. We'd get Stephen Hawking down here, and he'd go, "It makes no sense whatsoever." This is probably the worst Stephen Hawking imitation ever. Okay, I'm finishing my drink, and now we can get to the drinking. For a change. So, what are we here for tonight, Boozeketeers? What pearls of wisdom am I about to shoot at you with a wrist rocket, as though you deserve it, because you do, and we all know that. So tonight, I decided to make a cocktail that I've never. So I'm on a roll of making drinks that I've never had before, because if you don't, how will you know what you like? Unless you only drink what you already like, and then you won't know which drinks are out there that you haven't had that you do like. And so I thought, what kind of ingredients do I have? A lot of ingredients. A lot of different ingredients. There's all kinds of stuff here around the bar that I could find useful. Not him, Captain Booze Nanas. All you ever want is fire. Fire and strong drink. Yes, that's true. I'm with ya. Yeah. So I was looking at the ingredients that I have, and one that I've only used once, and I thought I should use it again, which was the creme de violet, because I happen to like violet. Some people don't. They say, well, it tastes like flowers and perfume and soap. And I said, yeah, so does your mouth, you foul-mouthed beast. But violet now. So So violet, it's funny because us Westerners who were born here in the U.S. of A., violet is not, violet and rose, flowers are not generally like a thing that we think about eating, you know, because we're not, I think we're less desperate because of the plethora of McDonald's. But in other places, you know, those things that we think of as perfumes, a lot of people think of as seasonings, right? So violets, when I was, so I'm gonna time travel. That's right. Yeah, you brought this on yourself, baby. I'm going back to 1980. I used to go downtown, right? And one of the things I would do is I would go down to the Cooper House in Santa Cruz, and they had a candy store there that rivaled none other. And they had all kinds of delectable treats, which you could find in no other place. And one of the things that they had, aside from the white chocolate, which was usually why I went in there, is they had little tins, not Tintin, who was a detective, but little tins, which were not like Rin Tin Tin, who was a dog. That's a different story. But small containers made of metal on the top, and the bottom was plastic. And that might be too much information. But they had little, and inside that looked like Tic Tacs, but they weren't. They were violet pastels. And I used to get those, and man, I would eat those things, and they were fantastic because it was like, you know when you eat a Tic Tac before you get to the mint part, right? There's that sweet bit, right? It tasted like that, only instead of going to mint, it went to this sort of violet flavor, and then in the center was a piece of anise, which is not spelled how you think it is, Boozeketeer CJ, with your dirty mind. But so violet candies, you know that, wait, I gotta come back to the present. And here I am now. And I think, so I'm like, you know, violet is an acceptable flavoring for things to have, which would make me enjoy them. So tonight, I was looking at the ingredients that I had, like I said, and I found creme de violet, which we used in, if you think back to the aviation, we used creme de violet in the aviation cocktail. Now you may be thinking, no, I know, Tiki King, I was about to make the drink along with you, but all I happen to have is creme d'yvette. Now, okay, we're splitting hairs. Creme d'yvette is kind of the same thing, but it's got a little more rose flavoring. And you can kind of swap back and forth in a pinch, but not the same. Creme de violet, creme d'yvette, you know, some with that, and then and then half, which carried over, is 2 times, and that's okay. We'll get to, because there might be more of that later. Math, it's like science, only with magic in it. So tonight's drink, after much ado about nothing, tonight's drink is called the water lily. And what do we need for that, Boozeketeers? You may ask if you hadn't already read the spoilers and gone to the page and gathered your ingredients and are about to shake along with me. You wouldn't be wondering because you'd have those things in front of you. But those of you who didn't do those things, I'll tell you. Tonight's drink, the water lily, we're going to need triple sec. All I have is 1.5 sec, so we'll have to use double. We're going to need creme de violet, the aforementioned creme de violet. Tonight we're going to be using fine Drillard's creme de violet, produced in France. You know what they do in France? Yeah, so I don't have to talk about it. So we're going to need fresh lemon juice. I happen to have, strangely enough, a test tube full of fresh lemon juice. It is lemon, I promise. And then we're going to need my favorite of the fighting boozes, gin. Clink. And then, now we have to be sad for a moment. Because, and also Carl is not here with the strip of orange zest, which is required as a garnish. But I'm going to garnish this drink with ill favor, because I can do that. Yeah, substitute. So what else do we need? How does this all work? Well, I think we're going to need a shaker, half filled with ice. And this particular shaker, this fine Boston shaker, made from the Founder's tin, we got it at the Boozeketeer. Go on down to see Ivy at the Boozeketeer, Salt Lake City's own Boozeketeer. I was gonna say booze emporium, but there's no booze there. If you want to make drinks, they've got everything with the booze. So head on down there, talk to Ivy, tell her Tiki King sent you, and then if she lets you actually back into the room, you can buy fun stuff like this shaker. And I'm about to fill half with ice. Is that too many? Is that enough? Put that back down. You stay down there. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now we have our accoutrement. We have our ingredients. So let's put them in. How about that? We're going to need 3/4 ounce of triple sec. I was kidding. This is actually triple sec. It's not. It's not. Yeah, you didn't believe me anyway. Ounces. There we go. 3/4 of an ounce. Okay. You're the boss. You tell me. You say when. Triple sec. And now triple sec, as you will remember from previous episodes, in a pinch you can swap around things like Cointreau and triple sec, but triple sec and Cointreau are not the same thing. But if you have to, you know, do your thing. Triple sec is an orange liqueur. It's a lot more sugary than sugarless things. Creme de violet, 3/4 ounce of that stuff. Ah, it's like bean. Ooh, mmm. 3/4 of an ounce. Ba-ba-da-ba. And then 3/4 ounce of fresh lemon juice. Where I went wrong. I was looking at the milliliters, which means I didn't put in enough. I thought that seemed really light, so I'm gonna have to go in and bump back up because there we go. See, that's what happens when you have a drinking show and you do the drinking before the show. It's a gin, and then 3/4 of an ounce of gin because you know. Oh, that's more than 3/4. That's okay. This is just how we roll, baby. It's how we roll. We cinnamon roll back where I come from, which is right here. Give that a good shake. Or a bad shake. I don't know. Can you have a good bad shake? Good bad shake? Are you no law?
What?
Producer Maggie's she's going crazy with the booze flavored water up there. Do you like violet flavor?
No.
Yeah, because you get to sample this with me because I've never had it before. Well, that looks strangely clear. Oh, it turned a nice blue color as we got down there. Past the gray. Alrighty, Boozeketeers, here we go with the water lily. That's lovely. You want to try? You want to try? You want to come down here or I go up there? No, because I'm strapped in with the microphones. You come down here. It tastes like something. I can't think what it is. But I would have to say it is lovely. Personally. You're like, you say that about everything that's booze. Isn't there? There's like a, hey, that tastes just like a. But I'm not
Then
sure
it's
what it is.
gone.
And then it's gone. It's strange. It's sort of like. I don't
It's
know what-
good.
It is good though.
I would really like it if it was like a snow cone,
A snow cone?
like crushed.
Well, yeah. We could actually go out. I could go out and get a bucket of snow.
You could.
It's been. Let me tell you, Booze. It's been cold here. I was like thinking about. I was like, oh, I'm going to do my show. I want to get a long. So one of my ideas for a show is I want to get just like a lounge chair, right, and just go out there in the snow, right, with a bottle of wild turkey, and just scoop the snow into the glass and put in the wild turkey, right, and have nature's very own snow cone, like, because Hunter Thompson, one of his one of the drink, he called his drink a snow cone, and it was just crushed ice, like shaved crushed ice, fill a glass with it, and then top it up with wild turkey. And I thought, that would be fun to do that, like just sit out in the snow, right? Drinking wild turkey, like in a lounge chair. And then I was out there today, and it was just too goddamn cold. It, like, my fingers hurt. I'm like, this would not be pleasurable, no matter how much I was drinking. It just would not work out. And now I'll take, and you know, here's the thing, Boozeketeers. This could be the booze talking. Producer Maggie's like, shut up, I know what you're going to say. No, every now and then, one of the cocktails, when I say this is lovely, sometimes it really is like, it's more than like, hey, that's good, or I'd drink that, or yeah, if you ordered me that in a bar, I'd drink it. It's like, oh, that's good, that's lovely. It's like, this would suit a certain occasion so much better than anything else possibly ever could. And it's like, it makes me want to find whatever that occasion is, you know? It's like, I want to be, yeah, and when you're there, and you're on the gigantic, overstuffed, tangerine-colored couch, right? And some guy is like, playing Heckle and Jekyll cartoons, and it's like 4 a.m. because you've been smoking the hookah all night. This drink, this could be the one that just sends you right over the edge, and you guys all leave. Yeah, riding with the top down, you know what I mean? Not like the Negroni. The Negroni, that'll straighten you up when you don't need to be straightened up. It'll like get you ready for things you're not ready for, and like send you on your way without even like writing a note. It's crazy. But this one is like, it tastes like a specific, undeterminable situation that it's perfect for. I don't know. It does. And so when I say this is lovely, that's what I mean. There's other drinks I go, hey, that's good. Or I say, oh, that's lovely. But this one, it transcends the unwritten law. I'll tell you. Yeah. So earlier we were talking about the cartoon things, and here's the deal. So today's yesterday. Tomorrow's planning of yesterday's show for tonight is going to be that it's I'm celebrating Boozeketeer Jim, who doesn't know he's Boozeketeer Jim. He just knows that he's Jim. And those of, I'm sure Boozeketeer CJ knows who I'm talking about, with a wink and a nod. So Boozeketeer Jim, he thought he was a cartoon character once. We went out, he didn't drink. Here's the thing. So Boozeketeer Jim, back before he was when he was just Jim, he didn't drink. And we decided to fix that, right? And we did. And one night we were in Ventura, and I decided to be his spirit animal and get him as trashed as possible, but still allow him to walk home because I didn't want to carry him because he's a big guy. So we went to many bars and drank many drinks, and I guided him along the way. I'm like, here, just you. I like told him. So each one, I'm like, oh, pound this one, sip this one, here, this one, chug it, but in intervals. I was guiding him along. It was like a spiritual journey. It was almost like, like a sweat lodge kind of thing, where I was guiding him into the state of extreme inebriation, whilst maintaining enough to continue on. But so we got to the point where we decided that we had done what we could do. We'd done the good work, and Boozeketeer Jim was he didn't quite know how to deal, because we made sure he didn't get so trashed that he was drooling and falling over. Right? He was still ambulatory, but his mind was many bars behind. Right? And so we're like, okay, we got to get this guy back to the hotel before he realizes his potential powers. And so we're coming back we're walking back to the hotel, and he said, I don't know, I feel like maybe I'm a cartoon character. And I said, Jim, you are a cartoon character. Just go with it. and suddenly he was able to like walk, but he had this kind of cool funky walk because he realized that he was a cartoon character. And that's the thing, cartoons so I started out with it. We'll come back around. Back in the old days, cartoon characters would get trashed. They'd get all drunk and do their thing and have a good time, and nobody seemed to really they didn't care because why not? I mean, Woody Woodpecker, there was one where he had a drinking contest. I mean, think about that now. Think about I don't know what are the cartoon characters now? Are there cartoon characters now? I don't know. I don't watch them. But he was a Buzz Buzzard. Buzz Buzzard and Woody Woodpecker had a drinking contest that when Woody Woodpecker won, he got to blow Buzz Buzzard up with dynamite, which I didn't get to blow up Jim with dynamite, but I would have. Because that's just the kind of friend I am, I tell you. But, and the funny thing, so when we were talking about cartoons, right, cartoons and boozing, the first thing that came to my mind was Popeye, right? I thought, Popeye, that guy, man, sailor, Nobody can tell sailor, don't tell Name Man how much they had to drink. You don't tell Name Man he's had too much to drink. That's your Name Man, you're not a Name Man. You would think that Popeye would have been a big boozer, but he wasn't. His booze of choice was spinach, which isn't booze at all. But I'm pretty sure there was one where Olive got drunk, and I'm pretty sure I remember at least one when Bluto slammed a tankard down and flew up and went into his mouth. But Popeye, I would have thought Popeye was a big boozer. Really wasn't. That I know of. I could be wrong.
What kind of a sailor was he?
What's that?
What kind of a sailor is that?
Popeye? What kind of a sailor? That's right. You don't tell a sailor that he's had too much to drink unless you're a sailor, in which case you've had too much to drink, and what good are you? Mm-hmm. That's right. So I said, I remember there was a comedian years ago, a bit about guys, you see people talking to themselves, like drunk guys, like bums or whatever, like homeless guys or people out there. And he said, what if they're not actually talking to themselves? What if they're talking to other people, but you can't hear it because you're not psychic? So maybe there's a certain level of psychicness that you attain after drinking enough. Because he's the one guy's in the corner going, don't tell Navy man he's had too much to drink because you're not a Navy man. And then 30 blocks away is another guy going, you were never in the Navy. What are you talking about? I thought that could be because maybe they are talking to each other. But I digress. I'm going to make another one because I got nowhere to go. I got nowhere to go but down from here. But I'm going to make it right this time because the first time I botched it. Alrighty, so shaker half filled with ice, 3/4 of an ounce of triple sec. Now this thing does not have, it has ½ ounce and 1 ounce, and I'm going to have to go in between I'm going to have to measure up right in between the two of them. There we go. Ah! You mind your own business. So, 3/4, which, in some places they call that 0.75. Yeah. 3/4 of an ounce of triple sec. 3/4 of an ounce of cream divided. This is like science, so you have to be careful. Better hold your breath, it's starting to tick. If this was Essence of Terror, you wouldn't want to put in too much. No. 3/4 of this. It's a 1-1-1 drink. All the same proportions. So you could, if you had a bigger glass than I do, you could just go 1 ounce of everything. Of all the things. We talk about that with the different ratios. But every ratio in this is 3/4. I often wonder, here's a thing. Now we're getting into the weirdness of it. And 3/4 ounce of gin. Oh, gin. Oh, precious gin. Help me if I need to fight again. So all of these things. So we got triple sec, cream de violet, fresh lemon, and gin. 3/4 ounce of each, which makes it so much easier because it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. 1 part each. Just 1 part each. You can make a thermos full and take it camping with you or to work. It doesn't matter. I suppose it would matter to your boss. Unless your boss is camping with you, in which case you might want to go with 2 ounces of each. There was a job that I had, unnamed job. In our cubicles, the overhead compartments were basically pretty much everyone had a mini bar. And that was I remember once asking if I could do a cocktail hour, and they said, yeah, let's not legitimize it because then it's going to mess it up for everybody. There we go. The water lily. I gotta say, I recommend it. It takes you where you're supposed to be. Producer Maggie's like, I really don't think that maybe is true. Oh, lovely. Yeah, so, it's funny, cartoon characters and drinking. They don't do it. As far as I know, they don't. I don't remember Scooby-Doo ever like chugging down beer. He drank hot sauce, but that's not the same thing. Not like, like Heckle and Jekyll. I think Heckle and Jekyll once were making Bloody Marys in one. I could be wrong. Off and out. I know that Felix the Cat. There was an episode of Felix the Cat that he drank so much, and he was like pounding down the booze in the cartoon. And this is for kids, right? Which I'm like, whoa, what the heck? What did I learn as a child? Pounds down the booze, and then is driving home and can't see straight because he's so trashed. And it keeps cutting from him, like driving drunk, to his wife at home looking at her watch. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. I don't advocate that sort of behavior. I'm just saying that it happened in cartoons, which is a thing that doesn't really happen so much anymore. We were talking earlier about pink elephants, right? Pink elephants on parade. Dumbo, right? In Dumbo, his a champagne does it fall over and like into the water bucket? But anyway, his water bucket gets filled with champagne, and he drinks it, and goes into this total just freak out trip where he's like envisioning all kinds of weirdness, which they did an homage to in the latest Dumbo, which was pretty good. The pink pachyderms. But in the old one, it was kind of scary because he gets all drunk and there's weird stuff going on and elephants turning to musical instruments and pink elephants on parade, which they're like, ha ha, that's funny, kids will love it. But it was kind of frightening because it was kind of frightening. It was weird stuff. But and Pinocchio was, when he went to Pleasure Island, they were drinking beer and smoking cigars. It was nutty stuff. Even in Disney, which if you know where to look in Disney, you can still find the right things that you're looking for. Especially if you're looking for me, then you find me. But that's one of those things that you just have to hope for sometimes. Well, there you go, Boozeketeers. That's one of those. Oh, there is one other thing, and this is just kind of a trivia thing, but apparently, according to those who keep track of such things, do you know who is the most likely to get drunk in a cartoon? You know? Producer Maggie.
Kitty cats.
Kitty cats. You are you are correct. You win the last bit of my drink.
Yay.
If you want it. Yeah, cats. Strangely enough, cats most likely to get trashed into cartoon. So all I have to say, Boozeketeers, is if you turn into a cartoon character tonight, make sure it's a cat. Because you know where you want to be. And with that, I have to say, it's been a pleasure being here in this 16 frames per second world with you tonight. And hope that no matter where you are and what you're doing, that you're either in black and white or full color with surround sound in your own ears. And with that, I'd say good night. I can't say good night. There we go. Yeah. With that, good night and good drinking.